Because I was. I'm afraid someone anymore. Oh, that's very good. Okay, so what's this? I thought about thinking of doing Superman. Shut up. It's such a small world.
Okay, all right. You know, I'm a rookie at doing this, so I don't know how. It's been a number of years. Anyway, welcome to Norman Rotary for this June 18th meeting. We appreciate you all being there, and I welcome everyone. So we're going to start with a moment of silence. I ask that you remember our Rotarians that have lost family members and that are sick, and also remember our mission in the world. So let's take a moment. Okay, next we're doing our flag salute. Kyle, you're going to do our flag salute for us?
Indeed. Please, this year of our semi-quincentennial, join me in saluting our flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And then Rebecca, you're going to do our four-way test.
Yes. Let's join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do.
Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Okay, thank you. You can take a seat. Remember, we're recording our meetings today. You can look them up on our YouTube channel after the meeting. You can see it. So, got a couple of announcements before we get started on our meeting. One, the Little Reed Wagon. We're collecting books for the Little Reed Wagon. Sean's collecting those. And if you have any folks who want to give to that, please be sure to bring them by next Thursday. So get them to Sean by Thursday. And the second one is next week we're having our after hours Rotary at Standard. And that we're also going to have that with our companion club. So please join us for that. Are there any other announcements that anyone needs to make? Okay, Randy, I think you're going to introduce our guest speakers.
I'm really excited to hear our speak or talk today. I've heard about this, but don't know much about it detail-wise, so I'm excited to hear Mark. Today we've got Mark Ivy speaking to us. Mark was born and raised in Tulsa until he moved to Edmond to attend the University of Central Oklahoma. There he spent in the past 12 years, he's been with NewView Oklahoma, where he serves as financial development and adaptive sports manager. After losing his eyesight to retinitis pigmentosa, I screwed that up, Mark found a passion for adaptive sports. He is trained with the USA Paralympic gold ball team and competes nationally in beach baseball. Mark started the NewView Oklahoma beach ball team, the Lookouts, in 2022. Their first World Series ended with a 15th place finish. However, this past year, They shattered expectations, finishing 6th in the world at the National Beach Baseball World Series. Mark was also selected to play as an all-star at the 2025 Ultimate Beach Ball Tournament at George Mason University. Mark is married to his wife, Elisa, who's a first grade teacher, and is a proud dad of 7-year-old Evelyn June, who likes to say blind dads are super fun. He's also a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, and despite what his wife says, he still considers himself funny. So Mark, it's yours.
Some people get nervous speaking. I get nervous just to find where I'm supposed to be speaking at. Once I get there, it's all good. And Kim, thank you for adding some of the accolades in there. I don't go around saying I'm a beatball all-star, so as long as someone else is saying it, I guess that's all right. My daughter, at the end of that bio, she does think blind dads are super fun, but just in funny ways. In fact, tonight, let me just start with this morning. This morning she goes, "Dad, what are you doing today?" And I go, "I get to go speak at a Rotary in Norman," and explain to her what Rotary was. And she goes, "Oh, Dad, that's so cool, but remember, make sure to face the right direction." And I was like, "Oh." And tonight she does dance, and they're having a sleepover, and they had their first sleepover a couple months ago. And yeah, I'm a blind dad, but like I still got to do side dad stuff, you know. Like hide and go seek. Like I played hide and go seek, and her and her friends are undefeated, and they just sit at the dinner table and be quiet. That's their favorite hiding spot, is being quiet. So we're doing it, you know. Who's heard of, and I always mess this up and say, show your hands. Just a little clap if you've heard of NewView Oklahoma. Okay, that close. All right. So NewView Oklahoma, we're the largest employer of folks who are low vision and blind in the state of Oklahoma. There's 2 main pillars of NewView that we're going to talk about, and that is our employment. Like I just mentioned, we're the largest employer, and then the true seed of our nonprofit, which is our low vision rehabilitation clinics. And that's how I found out about NewView. So I was telling my table here, sorry if you're going to hear me repeat a few things, but I have, and who introduced me, by the way? What's his name? Ray. You nailed it, by the way. Retinitis pigmentosa. I know you were standing in front of the mirror last night, just retinitis pigmentosa. You nailed it. We call it RP for short. It's a hereditary eye disease, and for my family, it runs on the men, on my dad's side of the family, and it affects the men. And so my older brother, there's 3 Ivy boys. Skip, my older brother, and then I'm 36 now. It started affecting me when I was in my late teen years. I drove a car until I was 22. Played high school baseball until I was around 17. And then my younger brother, Kyle, who also works at NewView, who's also a member of the Lookouts. He's out of Tulsa, but his eyes affected him very early in life. He's never driven. He had a guide dog when he turned 16, things like that. And he actually found out about NewView Oklahoma. And if any of y'all are if you have roots in Oklahoma and have heard of the League for the Blind, NewView is the League for the Blind. We changed the name about 20 years ago when we started doing our low vision services. And our low vision services start when you have an incorrectable eye disease. So something, you go to your doctor and we're not doing contacts and glasses, and we're after that. We are when you are legally blind even after corrective lenses, and we're teaching you, in a nutshell, how to live an independent life without vision. And so my younger brother, we graduated K through 12 at Jinx High School, and he had some great teachers there that knew about NewView, and he started learning how to use a cane. He started learning how to, do things that he could no longer do because of his vision, and that's how I found out about NewView. But I was a little more stubborn than my younger brother. I did not want to be blind, plain and simple. I didn't want to carry this thing. I woke up every morning for about 10 years trying to prove to people I wasn't blind. And so, in my bio, you heard I was at UCO, and that's when NewView entered my life. Again, I would wake up and not use this cane, and at the time, my RP it gets worse over time. So back when I was in my early 20s, I could trick you for a little bit, but then I would do things that were not ordinary. They were, to be honest, just weird and awkward. And it was hard to explain to people what was going on. So I had a professor ask after class, she held me back, and she wanted to have a conversation with me because she thought I was under the influence at a 10 a.m. course. Was that lit left? I wasn't lit, but you laughing at me. It is funny now. And I had to tell her, just pleaded with her, no, I have this eye disease, and and she was a great professor. And when I told her what was going on, that class became much like my shoulders kind of relaxed in that class, and I was like, huh. What do you know? I tell someone what's going on with me, and now I feel better because they know. And then but that was one little situation. Things not so funny. I'm in the student union, and I bumped into a female in the student union in a way that she thought I was being inappropriate. And I don't have this cane that tells people I don't see well. And that type of stuff will send you back at the time to my apartment, and I wouldn't, I didn't leave the apartment for a week. I didn't go to class. I put on a good face if my wife, now wife, I've been going on 11 years and 7-year-old daughter, so it's starting to get pretty serious. But at the time we were just dating, and she was living in Tuttle, and she would come up and I'd put on a good face, everything's great, but I was dying inside. Truly, I was dying inside. Because the person you all see today was just a shell of himself. I was isolated. I never felt depression, but dadgummit, I was depressed in that apartment, just writing it out, just white knuckling it, not wanting to accept what was going on. And I hate to talk about the Thunder right now because it hurts all of our hearts, but at the time, the Thunder were playing a playoff game. It was back in the Kevin Durant, Russ, Harden days, and actually I think Harden had already left. But my buddy called me, hey Mark, I got an extra ticket to the game, you want to go? And I lied to him and said I had Spanish homework. I don't think I was taking Spanish. And I just sat on my butt on the couch and watched Kevin Durant hit a game-winning buzzer beater. And at the time, Chesapeake Arena just went nuts. You could feel the energy through my TV screen. And I was like, Mark, you were supposed to be there. You were too afraid to go to a Thunder game. And that's when I called NewView. And within a couple days, they were at my doorstep. They blindfolded me, and I started cane training up and down 2nd Street in Edmond, up through the campus. And I started learning how to use a cane. And finally, this cane alone started giving me the confidence I needed just to be me again, right? Just to, I started learning tips and tricks with technology, how to use a computer again through their computer training. How to fold laundry, they'll do a home assessment, and we cover all 77 counties in the state of Oklahoma. So you'll come into our low vision clinic, and we serve babies to grannies. So if it's macular degeneration, glaucoma, if you're blind from birth, we are treating you case by case, and we are in your life throughout, because there's going to be new adventures in your life that you're going to need help with. Like a blind dad having a baby, right? That was daunting. I was like, how, I call her my wife, my sighted bride. She has no mercy. She's like, Mark, you're changing diapers, And so I started practicing on these baby dolls, and when that real thing came along, it was a different story. Stuff's moving, stuff's getting places, and at the time, contrast is really important to me. So the example here is I had a white changing table, a white changing pad, a white baby in a white diaper. And it all blended in. And so NewView, just a little trick was, hey, let's put a darker changing pad in under there, and then it pops. And then I had a little headlamp, so all the danger zone. I was good at changing diapers, you know? And I never thought I'm being funny about bragging about changing diapers, but guys, there was a time where I woke up without a purpose and woke up without people counting on me. And people counted on me my whole life. And I don't know if anyone has been in any type of, I'm sure we could go around this room and there's plenty of stories, but if you've gone through a period of your life where no one counts on you, that hurts, you know? And it could be something as simple as carrying a casserole into Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, don't let Mark carry that, you know, he might drop it. Oh, he can't, don't leave him alone with Evelyn too long. Well, that's my daughter, you know? I know how to be a dad. My wife, I remember she was going on a girls' trip right when Evelyn started crawling, and she didn't want to go because she had concerns about leaving me with my daughter, and that's a weird situation. Blindness isn't just me in that house, right? It's my whole family. It's a team effort, and if I don't know how to do things, my wife doesn't see that I know how to do things. So I called NewView in again. I go, hey. And I'm working there at this point now anyway, so they'll help me out. I get, first crack at, I get bumped to the front of the line if I need some help, and they came over, and they go, Mark, let's just put a little bell on your daughter's ankle. Because I don't have any peripheral vision, I forgot to say that. So with my eye disease, I don't see anything at night, and then my peripheral vision is about looking for paper towel rolls. So you should have around 180 degrees, I have about, 5 to 7 degrees. And yeah, I won't lie, when that little booger starts crawling, like, she got out of my line of sight in a hurry. A, where is she? B, what if I step on her? Like, I hate to, not trying to be dramatic at 12 o'clock on a Thursday, but what if I step on her? And so they put a little bell on her. I could track that little booger all across the house. And she liked playing with it. So I was like, all right, sweet. She's just been in the corner playing with her bell for 30 minutes while I'm watching the game. That's cool. But so there's these little things that NewView does to meet you where you are in your life to help you get back on your feet. And that's not all we do with low vision clinics in our manufacturing facility. To work at our manufacturing facility, like I said, the majority of those folks, about 75%, are low vision or totally blind. And we manufacture down on 5th and Douglas. We're at an old brewery, Progress Brewing, back in the early 1900s, and then in the 40s sold us this building for $1 donation, and we started manufacturing products in there. We manufacture aircraft wheel chocks, so the wooden chocks that keep the aircraft in place, and if we give tours as well, so if you were to walk in there, you would see some that currently right now, the person who runs that department is totally blind. And they can run that CNC equipment. Heck, they could go leave tomorrow and go get a job somewhere that needs a CNC equipment manager because they know how to run it because, technology is I tell everyone it's a great time to be blind right now with technology. The best time in the world probably, if you think about it. I couldn't imagine being blind back in the day with how little opportunities you had. But we're able to run CNC equipment. We manufacture fire hoses. We're the sole provider for the National Forest Service. So every single wildfire that you all see on, California or up north or on the coast, those hoses are coming from smack downtown Oklahoma City, being made by someone who can't see them. And yeah. And I didn't know these things. When I walked in there for a tour, I met one person who was blind my entire life, and he went to my church, and that's the only blind person I met. I did not know that we were capable of doing these types of things until I got to witness it for myself. And real quick, how am I doing on time? I was bragging about knowing about 4? 20. Oh, 20. All right. Yeah, okay. I won't do that to you. But I did not know the capabilities of what we do, and those are real jobs there. And what I loved about walking into that place is that the sense of normalcy. So like, I'll I'll be honest, I had an ignorant point of view. I was like, blind people are doing what? Yeah, right. Like, we're not in there, what are we, folding laundry? That's probably what those jobs look like. No, I'm still not even allowed to sniff around those machines. Like, those are professional manufacturing employees doing real manufacturing work. And sighted people have these jobs too. That's what I was getting at, is I love seeing sighted folks work side by side with someone who's blind, not because that blind person needs help, it's because that's a good job. And that sighted person had manufacturing experience and they wanted that job. Our CFO of NewView, Kristen Dorsey, she's been there going on 20 years. She started on the manufacturing floor and worked her way up. She had an accounting degree and no one would hire her. So she had an accounting degree because she has a eye disease called Stargardt's, and basically all she needs is the computer monitors zoomed very, very close in, farther in that the typical settings will let you do. So there's extra technology software that will allow you to do that, and it, on average, to employ someone that is low vision or blind that will be working on a computer, on average, it's around $200 to $400 for a company to invest in you to do that work. And the retention rate is over 95%. Because when we get a chance, we want to prove to you that we know what we're doing, and we want to, we want that job because the opportunities just we are getting better. I will say that, it is getting better, but it's not even close to, we're limited, right, where we can work right now. And so that's why she couldn't get a job with her accounting degree. And I hate that for her, but I also love it because we got it, and she's unbelievable. And so there's these stories that I see that gave me hope when I walked out of those doors. And then I started work at NewView at Tinker Air Force Base. We have a contract out there where we recycle and refurbish the wood crates and the fiber cardboard boxes that airplane parts come in. First time out there, I saw a guy with my same eye disease, but way worse, running a nail gun and a saw, putting together a crate, a wooden crate that an $80,000 airplane part was going in. And I was like, they're trusting us to do that? Again, I was ignorant. I didn't understand it. It was like, yeah. I was like, what did that guy used to do? He goes, well, he was a woodworker. I was like, oh yeah, well that makes sense. I was like, what's he do? How's he doing what he's doing? He's like, well, we just train people how to do that work a different way. He would paint his fingernails black because again, contrast. And so he would always be able to see the space between wood and his fingernails and not have accidents. We put bells and whistles on things in our manufacturing department. So like when we're pumping pressure through those hoses to test the pressure on them, and they got a giant, brass coupler on the end. When that reaches pressure, there's an audible tone that goes off. Well, you can hear that when it reaches the pressure, right? So like there's just different things that we do that allow us to do our work. It just might look a little different. And so getting in, that's really when I talk about NewView, the two main pillars is our low vision services and our employment. And when you get involved with NewView as well, especially our youth, that's something that, part of my job is adaptive sports. And a couple years ago, I heard about beat baseball, and I was going to go play I'm not bragging, I was going to go play some junior college baseball. I'm not saying I was awesome or anything, but I was going to go get to play some ball after high school before I had to stop my career early with my vision loss. And I heard about a sport called beat baseball, all right? And again, I promise I'm not this Mr. Grouch negative guy these days, but again, at that point I was like, okay, the ball beats, like the bases buzz, that sounds like the dumbest game I've ever heard. And it wasn't until my younger brother gave it a shot that I gave it a try, and it just so happened to be when we got a big grant from TSET, the State Tobacco or the Tobacco State Endowment Trust, and a portion of that trust or that grant money went to health and wellness, which we decided would be adaptive sports. The next thing you know, we find out that in 8 months, The Beat Baseball World Series is coming to Norman, Oklahoma. And it was held at Gillis Rother Soccer Complex off of Robinson. And we were like, well, we're the host team. Like, we don't even have a team, but we gotta make a team. Let's do it, you know? And so we formed the Oklahoma Lookouts. The Lookouts were my arch enemy in Little League. They're out of Owasso. And I just thought it'd be awesome to name a bunch of blind ball players Lookouts. So that's how the Lookouts came about. And 20 teams from around the nation came and competed. And it was the coolest daggone thing I'd ever seen. Even Taiwan. So it was like a true World Series. And right now you guys are saying, what in the world is Beat Baseball? Steve, if you don't mind, or can we play that video real quick? And is my big head in the way? No. Okay.
Here's how it works. There are 6 innings in a game. Each team gets 3 outs per inning. 6 defenders play the field. And everyone must wear a blindfold to level the visual playing field. Of course, the ball has been modified. When batting, hitters listen to the pitcher, who is sighted and who's on their team.
There's a cadence whenever I'm pitching. When I draw my hand back, I say ready. When I release the ball, I say pitch. The ball should be set right there, just like a big old grapefruit, straight here.
I think imagery is everything. So when I'm at the plate, I always imagine myself hitting the ball. It's all timing and technique.
The bases are situated at the corners. When the ball's put into play, an official flips a switch that randomly makes one of the 2 soft pillars buzz loudly. If the runner reaches the buzzing base before the defense controls the ball, a run has been scored. Otherwise, it's an out.
Listen.
That's Beat Baseball. And some of y'all are laughing about how physical. It is a young man, a young person's game. Your body's the glove. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. Is there a clip over there? Left shoulder's a little heavier than the right. Or maybe it's the heaviness of the cane. Anyways, thank you. And thanks for you guys to let me know. You're just going to let me wander off all the way until shame on you guys. No, so as you can tell, it's a physical sport. It's so much fun, and we are the big point of adaptive sports is making sure that every Oklahoman knows that these sports exist and that we want to get you on the field. So we go to the Oklahoma School for the Blind a few times a year, and we'll do clinics with them. And y'all, a lot of them have never swung a baseball bat. They've never been on a team. I got text messages in my phone right now from parents just saying how much their kid loved being able to swing a bat, run freely, run into a base. I'm like, heck yeah, that's what it's all about. 2 of those students are traveling with us to Chicago this year. They just got back from Indiana with us. 2 15-year-olds that are really good. And so again, it's open to everyone. And then we have about a 12-person roster that we'll take on the road with us. And so this year we're going to Chicago to compete in the Beat Ball World Series, and 2 sophomores from the School for the Blind in Muskogee are going to get to join us this year, and that's going to be super special. Some of our other youth programs we do a camp called Out Camp, Oklahomans Without Limits, and that's where kids get to have a normal summer camp. We're shooting 22s, we're riding horses. We do this at Camp Classen. And I'm always a counselor there, and it's so fun. We do something called Keys to Work, and that's when you're 18 to basically about to finish or enter in the real world. You might be moving out of mom and dad's house. You might be leaving from high school to college, and what's that look like to be prepared for that when you don't see? What's it like to walk into an interview? What's it like to buy clothes for an interview? What's it like to manage your finances? And so that's a 2-week program that we help kids out with as we try to set them up for success as they go enter into the real world. I'll wrap it up real quick. The last thing I do want to say is in 2028, the Baseball World Series is coming back to Norman. We found that out. And it's going to be like 2 weeks after the Olympic softball ends. So there's going to be a lot of baseball momentum coming. And I will definitely put that on my calendar. And I would love to come back at some point near that date and talk to you all and see if you want to come watch some blind folks play some ball. And we also have coming up, we do something called a blackout banquet. So imagine everyone sitting here right now, got your food, but you had a blindfold on. What's it like to eat without vision? And it's one of our biggest fundraisers, and people have a lot of fun. This year, or the one coming up in September, is in Tulsa, but we always do one in Oklahoma City, and I believe, Kim, we're doing it at Bass again. Yeah. And which I always crack up. I'm like, yeah, let's blindfold everyone at the best view in the city. But we need to take it off. It's a big ta-da moment when you take it off and see the sunset over the city. But yeah, we're doing lots of things to spread the word. But I will tell you, a lot of it starts, and I know this from experience, getting an opportunity at our local Rotary clubs to speak about the good work NewView is doing. So if you guys leave here, and I don't care if it's someone you meet at church, if it's someone sitting here today, if our largest patient group is typically elderly. With age comes vision loss. Anyone that is not doing something that they once were doing because of vision loss, please remember NewView Oklahoma, because we can help them out. Thank you.
Okay, so does anyone have any questions for Mark?
What you got?
Years ago, I guess it was a state law that the concession stands in the state capitol and the county courthouses were preferably run by blind people, but I don't see that anymore. Has that changed?
So that's the BEI program, Blind Entrepreneurial. Anyways, there's a couple people on our beatball team. One of the guys is from St. Louis. It is booming, absolutely booming in St. Louis, in the state of Missouri. There are still a few around Oklahoma. And you are correct, they have gone, a lot of our employees, especially ones that are in their 50s and 60s, they used to run those storefronts in those buildings, but they have gone away. And I'll look into that, and I don't mind getting back with Lynn if I have an answer for you. I'm not sure if it's legislation or not, but I am aware that those have gone down, and I'm not exactly sure why. But I also know that there's some people that make a great living from it too throughout the United States.
Is that still a law? Is the law still on the books that if you have a concession stand in the courthouse, that one person gets a record will hire?
I'm not sure. I'm going to figure that out though. Now I'm wondering too. Great question.
A question, the town I grew up in, Jacksonville, Illinois, had a school for the blind. And I remember going with a youth group and doing blind basketball. So I'm curious, baseball, are there other sports?
Yes.
In that category?
Yeah, so goalball is a Paralympic sport. And that's where you basically imagine a basketball court and soccer goals that go underneath from like baseline to baseline. And it's 3-on-3, and you're rolling about a 3-pound ball with a bell in it, and you're rolling this thing as hard and fast as you can to try to get it by the 3 defenders. And so you're basically like rolling this ball back and forth. But if you all ever YouTube like USA men's or women's goalball, GOALBALL, you can watch the footage on that, and it is crazy how hard and fast they can throw that ball. But goalball's another one. There's blind and low vision alpine skiers. Soccer, for the first time, this coming up in 28, the U.S. will have a blind soccer Paralympic team. And then, of course, in Canada it started, but now it's taken up north real well too, is blind hockey. So it seems like whatever there's a need for, they're going to find a way to play it.
I would like to introduce to you Kim Tier. Kim has accompanied Mark. Kim is the Director of Marketing at NewView in Oklahoma City. So we appreciate you coming also, and you and Mark both being here today. So.
Or my work mom, either one. Thank you guys very much.
Hey, Mark, I have one more for you. Thank you for coming, really interesting. So I'm with the Sports Commission that works to bring beat baseball here, on it. So a plug for all of you that are here with 2 years' notice. When we bring the World Series, not only is it awesome to watch and seeing you guys compete is amazing, we need a lot of community volunteers to work on that. So as that gets closer, it's a lot of fun to go volunteer. There are options that are in the shade, there are options that are out of the shade, but please consider doing that, because having you guys come out, it is truly a world event, a World Series. It's a big deal, and we're honored to have it here in Norman.
His name's leaving me, but he was at the World Series last year putting the bid in for Norman. Trent. Here we go, Trent Brown, heck of a guy. Yes.
Mark, I think you gave me a lesson I didn't expect from you. When you said you want to build it up, like a Thanksgiving dinner or something, and there's not going to be. Aging people sometimes say, or people say, oh, we'll do it for you, we'll do it. Aging people need to be needed too. So I'm going to pass that word, because I think that's a good lesson for many of us.
Amen. And I've noticed there's a lot of, I've felt more closer to my senior community than I ever have as I've lost vision because of some of those, parallels that we were both dealing with. Not just saying that because you said this right now. It's a true thought I've had plenty of times. So thank you for sharing that.
Okay, so I was supposed to ask Linda to introduce Kim earlier, so I haven't done my job very well. I will forego my salary for this meeting. I hope everyone realizes I don't get a salary. So a couple of reminders, but one, be sure to remember bringing your books next week for the little read wagon, and then we're having after hours Thursday at the Standard, and again, that's going to be with the Campaign Club. If there's anything else, then we're adjourned. Thank you.